Senator from Kansas.
Mr. President, I recall the first time I sat down with the late, great Senator Bob Dole after I'd been elected to Congress. And the purpose of that meeting was to get to know the senator, but I had a big issue I was getting ready to vote on, and I wanted to get his advice. And as I presented to him the legislation I was going to be voting on the next day, he stopped and looked at me and he said, "Roger, what you need to do, just go back to Kansas and listen to the people of Kansas. They'll tell you the answer to that question." So this August was no different than any break I've had. Like many of my colleagues, we went back to our home states. I went from Wathena to Wichita, from small towns to big cities, from the inner city to rural America, and we listened. We sat down with unions, with small businesses, big businesses, folks from financial services and farmers and ranchers. We sat down with leaders from public schools and private schools. We had roundtables. We did multiple roundtables on child care, homelessness. We sat down with multiple minority business owners, and we talked about the challenges they had, specifically about access to capital. We did roundtables on nutrition and health care. In Abilene, Kansas, we celebrated the 70th anniversary of the Small Business Administration, founded by our 34th President of the United States, Kansas' own Dwight David Eisenhower. We participated in a DHS human trafficking event. And history, I thought I'd seen all the history from Kansas, but we found two more locations that were underground railroads, where they housed freedom seekers. One in the Quindaro ruins of Kansas City, Kansas, and one, the John Brown cabin in Osawatomie. But of all the things we did that I think is important was our fentanyl awareness campaign, that one pill can kill. You know, I'm often asked about going from being a physician to a senator and what's the difference, and I would describe as a physician, I could impact maybe 30, 40, 50 people in one day. But as a United States Senator, I had the opportunity to impact thousands of people and to save lives. And in this case, that's exactly what the goal of this One Pill Can Kill campaign was. We thought as kids returned to school, it would be an ideal time to get out that message that indeed one pill, one fake pill laced with fentanyl can kill. Our entire Kansas delegation participated, and I'm grateful for their support. We'd had over 100 Kansas organizations actively participate as well, reaching out to their own networks. From law enforcement, the KBI was outstanding, sheriffs, our community health centers, colleges, high schools, health departments, anyone we could get to get that message out that one pill can kill. Every day, our staff did an incredible job of arming every one of those organizations with information to help get that word out. It resulted in thousands of social media posts across the state. And I'm grateful for the local media, the newspapers, the radios, the television stations that resulted in hundreds of articles that indeed one pill can kill. And I think the story's easy to tell, and that's what we tried to do, is just tell this story of fentanyl, how the cartel is alive and well across the state of Kansas, that they're lacing Xanax and Adderall and Percocet with fentanyl. Even marijuana, they're lacing them with it. That this is now the #1 killer of young adults. And I'm sad to say that most every day we lose a Kansan to fentanyl poisoning. In fact, we're using Narcan 10, 15, 20 times a day. I talked to a fireman in Kansas City. He said every day they were making runs because of fentanyl. And again, we just wanted to share that story of where fentanyl is being sold, how it's sold, its deceptiveness, and the efforts required to combat it. I'll just close with this. It is easier to get a fentanyl tablet and cheaper to get a fentanyl tablet delivered to your home than it is to order a piece of pizza. For $1 a pill, you can now get fentanyl delivered to your home, and all it takes is just one of those pills to kill. For the sake of our children, I pray that we can secure our borders, that we'd stop the influx of fentanyl into Kansas and the rest of this country. And in doing so, we can save literally hundreds, if not thousands, of lives. Our week-long campaign pushed us closer to that goal. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield back.